today to learn about how to find internships and employer-involved experiential learning opportunities. So my name is Kara Alvis, and I serve here in University Career Services as the Job Location Development Coordinator. So my role typically does not involve finding internships for students, but I'm filling in for one of my colleagues today. So at the end of the presentation, you will find Kelsey Durham's email address, and she will be following up with all of you as well. And at the end of this, probably tomorrow, Kelsey will be in touch with a resource guide of all of the resources that we have gone over today. So feel free to take notes, and there will be some QR codes integrated into the presentation, but just know that all of these resources will be sent to you after the presentation is over. So just to get started, before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of how to find an internship, how many of you, and this could be, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat, how many of you have either searched for an internship in the past? What was that experience like? If you do feel comfortable sharing, feel free to do so, but I would love to hear or see, if you've had experience with an internship in the past, was it paid or unpaid, anything like that, or if you're currently in one or are searching for one. I will try to find the chat. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see the chat while presenting, but one second. If you haven't had, experience with an internship, that is okay, because that is what we're going to be experiencing today. So we're going to just go ahead and move on, but I do hope some of you maybe have had experience, at least with our office, to learn more about internships. So the search can be super daunting, especially, even figuring out what is an internship, how's this journey, different for everyone. But really, these 4 different categories, as we've broken them down, really kind of show you, what are the steps and measures to take from the start of finding an internship and kind of going through the ins and outs. So really preparing. With anything that you do in your life, you need to prepare accordingly, making sure that you have the resources available to reflect all of the skills that you have, all of your, what you're studying and your experiences before you even begin that search. And then your options, what are some options that you have? And we're going to discuss that today about, some platforms or some opportunities that you can be involved in to get that experiential learning to help you, in the future as you seek to get that full-time job. And then strategize. So you definitely have to, develop a game plan, much like you, would with your academic advisor, to know what classes you're going to be taking. So that is all going to be rooted in your plan to get an internship as well. And then just remember, that your experience is going to be unique to just you. And so everyone's experience is going to be different. And so you have to understand that, this search might be a little bit different than your friends, vice versa, but we are here with resources readily available for you. So the question is, how do you know that you're ready or career ready? So awareness, reflection, and prepare are kind of the 3 categories to kind of know, what step in the readiness that you're in. So that awareness piece, so again, that kind of goes back to the preparing and researching, kind of see what's out there, see what best fits your values and kind of what your interests are and how it may align into your academic major. And then you can recognize your top strengths. We have the Career One Stop interest is kind of a little interest survey to kind of see where your interests align based off your career, your interests, your skill sets, and things like that. And then once you've done those things, you want to meet with someone to really reflect on that process and kind of break down by talking and having a discussion about what that means for you and how it kind of will help you moving forward. So here in University Career Services and the other department-based career services at UNC, we have career coaches, and you can schedule an appointment through HANDSHAKE. We'll touch on HANDSHAKE in just a few moments. But you can also review results from Focus 2. It's another assessment in Clifton Straits and reviewing what can I do with this major. So those are all 3 main resources that we like to share with students to really help them develop and prepare and enrich for their career readiness. And then ultimately, of course, you want to have that resume and cover letter reviewed, because, a lot of times when you're applying for places, they're going to ask for those documents. And then prepare. Again, we're going to go into HANDSHAKE, but your profile, you want to beef up as much as possible, because employers will look at that, especially if you are applying through HANDSHAKE, and they want to see that you do have your experience on there, to make sure that you are committed, to the search. And then obviously you want to upload your resume and other documents that they ask for, as part of the application process. So we, in University Career Services, really reflect on the NACE readiness competencies. And so NACE stands for National Association for Colleges and Employers. So it combines a list of competencies, otherwise known as like transferable skills, which are think through, we're going to get to in a moment, but communication, leadership, and those things that you required in a classroom, any other job experience or things like that, to really make you stand out in who you are today. So it really allows you, to express those things, but also the awareness of your skill sets and strengths, and maybe, some desired areas that you want to kind of work through in your next experience. And then also, just as a whole, it's really your professional plan. So here are all of the NACE career competencies. At the top right-hand corner, there's a QR code if you want to scan that and read a little bit more about them on their website. But as you can see here, it kind of breaks down into different categories. And you may see that you do have some of these skills right off the bat. And then they break down into, critical thinking. All of you have had some form of critical thinking in the classroom. And so think through, how you've integrated all of these competencies in your everyday life. Specifically as college students, you have had to adapt, to technology specifically in the last 2 years. And so think through how that has motivated you to develop and adapt these different skill sets moving forward, specifically how it's going to affect you finding an internship or finding experiential, learning, just to see how, whatever you're doing can help you build on those skill sets. So internships are very important. They are kind of that first stepping stone into your next career, whether it be, looking for a full-time job, summer internship, graduate school, and things like that. And so it's really important that you are prepared, that you show the employer, whoever you want to work with, that you are committed to wanting a little bit more experience, especially learning experience in a company role. So you want to make sure that you are very prepared and committed to the mission of the company. So now we're going to go into, specifically what are internships and experiential learning. Those are kind of daunting words at times. And so we're going to break it down into what they are and some options that you might want to consider. So internships, we like to really refer to them in this office as field-based experiences related to your career interests or academic major, or, this discipline specific based off your grad school experience. Think through as like a hands-on experience in the classroom, kind of applying what you've learned in the classroom or, in an academic setting into an employer-involved environment. Then the other option, experiential learning. This is really applying things, again, what you're learning, and then kind of applying it into an activity, project-based, in a practicum, a shadowing experience. So these could be paid or unpaid experiences. And we're going to break down those in just a moment. So like I just touched on a few moments ago, most of you are going to fall into these 4 categories as far as what you're looking for this internship or experiential learning to benefit. So the summer internship, that is going to be, if you're looking this summer or the following summer, just to kind of benefit you to, again, get grounded in that experience, to apply what you're learning into the classroom. Full-time job, if you're a senior or junior starting to look for those full-time jobs, think through how this experience can really help benefit you, for employers to see that you have gotten that experience and you're committed to learning about whatever it is in that field. Graduate school, they often want to see that you have gotten experience, and not only just in the classroom, but also how you've sought to apply what you learned in the classroom into experiences. And then entrepreneur. So maybe you are, wondering about starting your own company or working with someone to build your brand. And so whatever the case may be, in all of these 4 different areas, you are setting yourself up to benefit you long term. So when searching for an internship, there's kind of a few different options. So the first one, and the one that you might have already started doing, is through the UNC courses. So the Ideas in Action undergraduate curriculum, there's lots of opportunities for you to be a part of. These are available through the Experiential Education internship courses. You're able to receive academic credit for some experiences that you're choosing to be a part of. That's also something to note, that not all of the internships that you'll be seeking will be allowed for academic credit. So that's just something to note as well. HANDSHAKE, so this is our online platform for finding full-time, part-time internships nationwide. And so we have thousands of employers on there. You can access that through our website, University Career Center website. And there's also, again, going to be a link in the resource guide that will be sent to you after this presentation. Through HANDSHAKE, you have the ability to kind of filter and kind of base your preference on specific career goals, what type of internship you're looking for, location, and things like that. And then LinkedIn. If you all do not have a LinkedIn, I would definitely encourage you to get a LinkedIn, specifically, if you are wanting to build your network. It is definitely the largest professional network that you can get. Think of it as like a social media platform, but just in a professional light. And so you can kind of build relationships, develop them, connect with, professors or friends or colleagues or old supervisors or anything like that. So I'd highly encourage you to get one of those, and feel free to schedule an appointment with a career coach, and they can kind of walk you through what it looks like to make one of those. So the Ideas in Action curriculum. So think these are very high impact experiences. So we like to refer to any of our experiences as high impact experiences because they really do impact you long term, especially as it relates to your future career. And so the Ideas in Actions offerings, they offer, service learning. You can get research, study abroad, field work. There's lots of different opportunities that you can get through these. Again, some of them are going to be paid, some of them are not going to be paid. And so you really have the ability to kind of make it your own and really apply what you're learning into one of these experiences. So something to note about the experiential learning internship courses. So you are going to get, again, course credit for doing these experiential learnings, but a few things to note is to first start by contacting your director of the undergraduate study. You want to set up a meeting just to kind of get that basic knowledge about what it means, to join the course, ask any questions, gather that information about, what are the requirements. Some require the prereqs, to enroll in the course. So you want to come prepared with a list of questions, about how this process can be, am I qualified as whatever, category that you're in, and really just seek their advice about, what process they would recommend doing, what area would benefit whatever you're seeking after you do this experience. So I've touched on it a bit at the beginning, but HANDSHAKE, I'm going to kind of walk us through how that looks and how we can seek to find internships through HANDSHAKE. So number one, and again, this is probably one of the most important things, is you want to complete your profile, preferably to at least, really 100%. That just means that you have your contact information on there, you have all of your work experience, your interests, all of your, resumes, all of the things, and it kind of walks you through a guide on how to get to 100%, but it really just increases your visibility to companies. It allows HANDSHAKE to provide suggestions based off what you input in there. And so it will, if you have begun to search for internships, they will come up with suggestions and make it a little bit easier for you to navigate. Again, you're going to want to use filters. So you can filter by major, by, your school year, when you graduate, specific locations, if it's paid, if it's not paid, and things like that. So definitely want to recommend doing that, especially because whenever you first go, it's, just all of the options available. So you want to narrow down that search a bit. And then the third thing is really, you can save jobs. So that is, if you're kind of viewing jobs and you kind of want to go back to them later, get reminders before the deadlines, things like that, you can save the jobs. Then you can have access to the employers that are listed on there as far as the contact information. You can also message the employers if you're interested in kind of learning more about the company, or just telling them that you applied to the internship and you're excited for this potential opportunity. Another thing, whenever you are looking at these companies, you can see other students that have had an internship there, or just work there as in general, and you can kind of ask them about their experience too from a student perspective, and that will definitely help you as well to see if it is a good fit for you or not. So there is 3 types of internship categories, as we like to refer to them. So there's your part-time or full-time. So these are going to be semester-long courses, internship courses through the Ideas in Action curriculum. They're going to be employer-involved summer internships. And then the paid or unpaid. So depending on your academic and professional career, you can kind of see, which ones kind of align with what your interest areas are. Sometimes if you're not getting paid, there will be, kind of stipends or some funds to help with travel or stay or lodging or anything like that. And then domestic or abroad. So think through like the study abroad experience, that you may have seen some friends do. And so if you aren't interested in doing that, the Center for Global Initiatives does offer funding for students that are interested in learning through internships, service learning, or research. So international experiences or internships. So you can actually get work experience while studying abroad, which is really fun. You can, volunteer. Oftentimes students will teach or intern in another country just to kind of learn the basics, maybe teaching English or teaching a skill set that you're interested in, or maybe something that you're studying. The study abroad office has plenty of experiences, and they combine an internship with the study abroad experience. So you're not only getting to just go experience other cultures, but you're also getting that work experience that will be really fruitful for your next experience. And then the Campus Y. The Campus Y actually has the ability for students to complete committee work. There's opportunities to provide support with travel costs and things like that. So those are some 3 options for, if you are interested in that international internship. So for unpaid internships, there are a few experiences, that necessarily won't provide funding, but they, have opportunities for students, such as, the Style for Success. This allows you to get funding to get professional interview attire. You can have up to 1 outfit, but you can receive these for, for students receiving need-based financial aid. Again, the summer internship, you can get funding for travel, for lodging, lasting at least 4 weeks. And then we have the Marcia Harris Travel Grant. So this is specifically for students that are traveling domestically for, an internship and professional conference, anything like that. And the funds can specifically be used for airfare or lodging. So now we get to micro-internships. So micro-internships is kind of a new and up and coming thing for students to be a part of. Basically, it's an opportunity for you to get that foot in the door experience, to boost your skill set, to gain hands-on experience without, enduring the long, summer internship or things like that. It basically allows you to get entry-level assignments by working for, there's many companies that are part of this. So the history of micro-internships was founded by a guy named Jeffrey Moss, and he is currently the CEO of Parker Dewey. We're going to get to Parker Dewey in just a moment, but basically he kind of streamlined how, an internship can be small, but still, influential. And so that is really where, students have the opportunity to be part of experiential experiences, but without kind of, all of the long-term. So micro-internships simply are, they're short-term. So the projects typically are, max of 40 hours. They're going to be paid. So each project has a specific rate based off the amount of time to complete. So that is a very, and usually it is pretty nice stipend. And then they're professional. So a lot of these companies will provide professional experiences, especially to interns, and specifically, if you do a good job, you have more of a chance if they do want to hire you on after. And then most of the times they are going to be remote, which is a huge bonus, especially for college students. You won't have to travel. And then they're all different types of industries. You know, there is a lot of business ones, but you know, they are often all the above. And so they are offered all year round, and they're a great way, again, to get that foot in the door experience. So who can complete micro-internships? So you have to be at least 18 years old. You have to be a current student or an alumni and wanting to get a little bit of extra professional experience. You can be an international student if you have the appropriate working authorization, such as the ones listed, and then you can be an undocumented student with valid ITIN. So most everyone is going to be eligible to complete a micro-internship, and it's just a great a way to get that experience, especially, you know, if you're just trying to learn more about, you know, the company and expanding that project-based experience. So again, the job categories open to all majors. Here are some that are more common that students typically are going to be choosing, but as you can see here, it does align with most of the majors, if not all, here at UNC. And so if you have a specific interest or skill set in any of these, and these are just, again, the beginning, and if you go to Parker Dewey, which I'm going to show you next, you can find more about which ones maybe align with you. So how it works is micro-internships are going to be posted, again, on a need-based situation. So they're not always, you know, if you do have a company in mind that you would want to do one for, you know, it's not guaranteed that they are going to be posted, but always check back in for new opportunities as they do arise pretty often. But you do want to create your profile, make sure that, you know, you want to include your school, any skills that you have. You want to, you know, again, view the latest micro-internship opportunities. So they're going to, you know, kind of have a timeline about when they're due and what the pay looks like and more specific things. You can, you know, apply for opportunities directly on the website, specifically the ones that are going to be aligned with your skills and career goals. And then again, once you know, want to do one, you might have the opportunity to have more opportunities working at with Parker Dewey. So your assignment, what are you going to be doing during a micro-internship? So again, you're going to be getting, you know, kind of that more entry-level experience, but still pretty significant. And again, it does pay pretty well for the work and the time that you're doing it. So the top paying positions, you know, are going to be more of like updating websites, social media is going to be a big one, diversity, best practices, anything to help support the company's mission. The mid-level, as you can see here, you know, a lot of updating content, kind of being reviews for different things, reviewing resumes, and then your low position, still really good experience, more of that kind of behind the scenes work that, again, all influences the company of the mission to support all of its initiatives. So here's kind of what it looks like when you visit the Parker Dewey website. So there is a specific one to UNC. So as you can see here, it's simple. You just kind of hit the create an account. So you just create one, and every student does have access to it. And then you apply for micro-internships. So that's when you can see all of them listed. And so as you can see here, this is, you know, based off just the initial search. And so you can see, you know, a student recruiter, social media copy creation, Park City sailing. So again, like I said, most of them are going to be remote. So even though it does say it is in New York, most of the projects are going to be, you know, something that you can do from your laptop. So there's plenty of opportunities to browse the micro-internship opportunities. You can review job postings. Again, it's similar to HANDSHAKE where you can filter. So you can filter based off location, you know, the major that, you know, typically does that, the preferences, anything like that. And then for submitting the application, you're going to provide really detailed responses to the questions that they're going to ask, because again, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. You want to showcase your NACE competencies. So all of your skill sets that you know, are proud of and that you really have honed in to prepare for this experience. You are going to have to go through an interview process, and, you know, from there, they will see, you know, if you are qualified to fulfill the project. And then after, you'll receive the next steps from Parker Dewey. So in general, basing, whether you are looking for now a micro internship and just an internship through the, credit-based ones, summer abroad experience, whatever employer experience you want to receive, you always want to make sure, as we talked about at the beginning, that you are most importantly prepared. So whether that be talking to, a trusted mentor or one of our career coaches or, professor or anything like that, you want to make sure that you research the company first and foremost to see if you are, if the company aligns with what you agree with, their mission, their values, their job types, do they have diversity, whatever, that really hones into what you are, looking for. That is really important to do that research because they will be researching you just the same. Again, use LinkedIn for, searching for different opportunities, but also connecting with alumni or current colleagues that you're with, or students or professors that can really speak on your experiences. That will go a long way. Again, you want to show any of those competencies or transferable skills that we've talked about, showcasing, what skills are you strongest in. You want to really highlight those and provide examples with those. Some examples that you can provide, the independent projects, think through, things that you've done in the classroom or, anything working on a team to showcase that you are able to work within a team, show how you have collaborated with one another, anything like that to showcase things that they will be asking for in the job description. And, think through how you can showcase, especially in the last 2 years, things that you have done to get experience, even if there was not availability to do so, think through how, you creatively, did something specifically that's going to help you long term. So whenever you're searching for opportunities, you want to make sure that aligns with, if you are pursuing grad school, or if you are pursuing a full-time job, or if you're pursuing, a summer internship, whatever the case may be, make sure all of these things represent who you are, but also that the company that you're looking for represents, something that you want to be a part of, even if it is just, a 40-hour project. You want to make sure whatever the experience that you're choosing really reflects well, because ultimately it's going to reflect back on you once you put it on your resume. And then finally, have that ability to learn something new. Everyone should have that openness, especially as they start a new role. It might not be exactly what you thought it was, but be willing to learn and try something new. So like I mentioned at the beginning, Kelsey Durham, who is over our experiential learning and internships, she will be providing a resource document of all the resources that we discussed today. That was a lot of information to take in, specifically, all of the URLs and all of our resources. But I would definitely encourage you to all take advantage of all of our resources on our website, such as HANDSHAKE, and learning more about the Parker Dewey micro-internships. So this is Kelsey Durham's contact information at the bottom. She is the Assistant Director of Internships and Experiential Learning. If I can answer any questions right now, I'm happy to do so. But in the meantime, if you don't mind filling out this quick survey to let us know how to serve students better, I'm also going to put the link to it in the chat, and it will also be sent to you with the resource guide. But I really appreciate you all being here today, especially on this Monday afternoon. If you do have any questions, I'm happy to stick around to answer those. But thank you all so much for coming, and hope you have a great rest of your day.